Hello, this is Lisa Russick, and this is the podcast We Are All Psychic. Today is because this podcast is yours too. This is our 6-year anniversary, August 6th, 2025. And for this great day, I am making a podcast, of course. I have a candle. I'm gonna light my little candle. And, whoops, 3 times lucky. And I've got my little Morgana. She's celebrating because she's a podcast cover. And I got a sage because we love sage. So, listeners and watchers, this is a video podcast on Spotify and YouTube. I made it 6 years, dudettes, whatever you identify as. It's a freaking miracle. And it is a milestone for me. I don't stick with things very well. That's why I said I was a professional hobbyist in the very first podcast. For this podcast, I do want to talk about that first podcast and how different things are now than when I did the very first episode. It's very different, but I still think we're all psychic. Yes, Lisa, do you think we're all psychic? Yes, I do. I always will. Don't think my mind will change. So, basically, and I made shirts. I didn't think I'd ever make a t-shirt of a podcast I was doing. No way. And, I got a sponsor. These are all the things I read about. But first of all, why did I start the podcast? It's exactly the same reason as I said in the very first episode on August 6th, 2019. Wanted to connect with people. Wanted to, embrace this side of myself more and really learn all the things I could about the mysteries from other people and interviewing them and hearing if they think we were all psychic. And very few people said they didn't think so. And one person says no. I think most people who were on the no side of it and didn't want to say no, they say that maybe, or they didn't know for sure. They didn't really want to make an opinion, make a statement about that yet because they hadn't figured it out for themselves if they were psychic. And I think we may have changed some minds. I don't know, microphone. What do you think? Microphone thinks a lot. It doesn't have anything to say. It just takes in everything everybody says. It never gets to talk. Probably a lonely life. That's why I'm saging you. So anyway, I'm going to put this out. If I can. That is Nashville. As you listeners, if you've been here all along, will know, I didn't start the podcast in Nashville. I started it in Decatur, Alabama. And my name wasn't Lisa Russick, it was Lisa Hazard. So I did listen to my first podcast right before I came up here to my Sky Deck to do this podcast. And I was listening to all the ambitions I had for it. It worked! And it really surprises me that 6 years later, I'm sitting here on a Sky Deck in the most beautiful city I've ever been to in my life, and I'm living here. I mean, I've always loved the city since I lived here before. I didn't want to leave. If anyone watches that who watches this or listens to this podcast and knows me personally from that time period, you probably know I've made a lot of changes. And if you've listened to the podcast and followed my life path and Misty's path and all our guests' paths where they pop in and what they were saying they were doing in their time with us, you've got to hear all of that. If you did that, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. That anyone would listen to anything I have to say, first of all. And it's surprising that they do. So thank you. And of course, thank you, the guests. You guys are all just so amazing. I couldn't have a podcast without guests. So I have to interview people. I have to. And every guest I've had has been amazing. I only deleted, I had 2 videos I took down, 2 podcasts I did take down. Both requested me to take it down, so I did. And I think we have a lost podcast episode somewhere called Altered States. I could have sworn we did that podcast because I can remember the cover and I remember us doing it. But I think I made it a bonus episode, and I didn't know that about bonus episodes when you make them. But they go bye-bye. I think. I don't know. It's just gone. Or I dreamed it and it needs to be made. But Misty was in it, so that's it. The other things I talked about in that first podcast, let's see, I do want to tell this story, and I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast about when I was thinking of ideas for this podcast. Omega Keys, who was on the podcast, one of my first guests, I think she was third or second, I can't remember. She was pretty early on. We were friends. We're work friends, I guess you could say, but we just got along great. And she says to me, that you've probably heard this if you are a listener, regular listener. She says, Lisa, you should do a podcast. She said, I hate talking on the phone, she said. It just drives me crazy. She's like, I can listen to you all day, though. So, yeah, you should do a podcast. Your voice would be perfect for it. And I'm like, really? Podcast? You think so? What would I talk about? She's like, I don't know. You can do anything you want. That's the great thing about a podcast. One of the many great things. And she's really creative. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Omega Keys, go back and listen to her podcast. She has some crazy stuff going on all the time. She's one of the people who gets the spirits who come to her and asks her to cross them over. And if you listened, you've heard people talk about them. Some amazing stuff like that. So she did recommend this to me, and I took it very seriously because any kind of comment from Omega about what I should do was like, yeah, because she's very encouraging, successful, and beautiful, and talented, and genius. So I took this advice, and I really sat with it. Well, I want to talk about psychic things. I'll talk about the energy. I'll talk about metaphysics and the mysteries and the tarot. I've just gotten back into all this stuff again in 2018, when Morgana passed away. And she's speaking. She's right here on my shirt. Meow. She's on my leg, too. I'll show you that later. But when I was planning on it, I did want to do psychic, and I decided, it just kind of came to me to do this We're All Psychic idea. I wanted a hook. I really wanted a hook. And I like the hook of asking people, do you think we're all psychic? So I told my second husband about this, and he's like, it's a good idea, but no one's going to say yes. So I just choked on some mango juice, and I feel much better. What was I saying? Oh, yes, he said no one's going to say yes. And I said, well, they might, it's just be a discussion to have. And he's like, nobody can do that. Nobody's psychic. It's not true. And I'm like, I think it is. And we actually had an argument. I mean, it's not surprising if you knew our relationship. But he argued with me about it. And, I've never had anyone debate me like he did that night. No one has debated me whatsoever on this show. Like, he really put me through it that night. I think he was, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Maybe he was getting me ready for the scandals. I don't know. But he was my harshest critic right away before I even made an episode or a trailer. Then I researched all about podcasts, and I made a website, and I recorded a trailer in July. And the song that I play for the podcast, the beginning of every podcast, I used that in my trailer, and that was 1 minute long, I think. And when I listen to that first episode, I just hear my lips. I recorded it in the Anchor app. That was how old that is. And I had Audition, and I had the Adobe Suite, but I just wanted to try out this app that you could do all the recording and editing, and I thought that was cool. Just wanted to try it, and it was cool. But it sounds terrible. I don't want to change it, though. It's just the way it is. It's perfect, I guess. And I'm not much of a perfectionist. I remember doing a podcast with Nicole from A Psychic Story and the Common Mystic Sisters, Jen. Jen and Jennifer and you know your name, girl. I can't think of it. Okay, but I'm going to be going on at the very end of this podcast. That name's coming out of my mouth. But we were doing the four of us were doing a podcast, and it was like about psychic podcasting. I don't know if it was during the podcast or if it was after the podcast, but Nicole says, I think we're all A-type personalities here, and blah, 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 blah. I just thought I couldn't hear anything else she said after that, because I was like, someone called me an A-type. I'd love that, because I'm so B. I'm such a B personality. B-type personality, and if you don't know what A and B-type personalities are. An A-type personality is like the go-getter. Go get them. They win. They win everything. They go get them. They get them. And they go after things. They're very ambitious. And some B-type personality isn't very ambitious. I'm not. I mean, I haven't... I don't know how to be ambitious. I wish I could be ambitious. I might have more, money. But, I have a lot of happiness in my life now. And when I first started the podcast, I thought I was really happy, but I was kind of in an illusion. Kind of not, because I kind of knew what was really going on in my life, but kind of not. So going back to that first podcast, I said I wanted to interview people from all walks of life, and I got to. I'm so excited. I said I wanted to make a dictionary. I have not done that, but I found out that there are a lot more words and terms than I thought. I just didn't know them. There are a lot of terms, and people on this podcast have taught them to me. Thank you. And my continuing to study has taught me stuff. So if you learn astrology terms, you're probably good in the energy work world, because they all go back to astrology, or is it palmistry? It's astrology. Astrology and palmistry go together, I think, because hands are as old as time and space. That's what I say. It's been a really great 6 years doing this podcast, and I really love doing them with Misty more than anything. I miss her. Miss Misty. And that was really cool to experience all that with someone on the wild ride, because we had some wild times in the last 6 years. Oh, if you've been watching and listening, you know some of the crazy things that happened on the podcast and the strange stuff that happened in the beginning, all the technical issues and stuff like that. If it weren't for Misty, this podcast wouldn't have kept going. It would have stopped and died in 2020. But when I met her, she says, if you listen, she says, pursue the podcast. That's what the message is for you. And I have, and I've kept doing it, and I've done every one. I've been on every episode, I guess, because I am doing the recording and doing the hosting. In 2019, I lived in Decatur, Alabama on College Street with a husband and 2 stepsons. August 6, 2019. And then, 6 years later, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Dream, dream, dream. Dream on, girls and boys. Dream on. Look at that. Look at the beautiful place. That fan is in the way. And if you're not looking, listeners, just close your eyes. If you're driving, definitely close your eyes. Just kidding. And imagine the Batman building if you've never seen it or heard of it. It's just a big building with Batman ears, but he's not showing, and I don't think you can see that building from here. Let's see. I'll take a picture of it and crop it in maybe afterwards. So, I was just about to talk about something very, very, very important, and I can't remember what it was. That's part of the podcast, too. I've learned a lot of hard things, too. I've learned a lot of hard lessons through this podcast. Energy work definitely needs some protection, and learning about that. Learn how to protect your thinking, learn how to protect your heart, just like you do in the real world, because this is the real world. We are all psychic. I do believe that. So you've got an edge if you believe it. Trust me. Inner happiness. It's really there. It's really there. I mean, I have bad days still, but I'm not too bad off. I'm healing slowly from my traumas and from neglect. And I am making new friends. When something clears away, the old new does come. And I want to remember the things that hurt as lessons, and I want to learn something from them. I don't want them to be no reason. I don't want there to be no reason to anything. Why would life be like that? Doesn't make sense. It's supposed to. I want it to make sense. And that's why I do this podcast too. I have gone by many names, and this name, Lisa Russick, I think is the name I'll have for the rest of my life now. I don't intend on getting married again. I don't intend on. You never know what the future will bring, though. You never know, guys. You just never know. Even if you're a psychic as hell, maybe you just don't know what happens to you. Psychics certainly don't know what's going to happen to us. It's one of our biggest bones to pick as we walk through life. walking a spiritual path on purpose. Doing that just as your life. I mean, that's what I have done, pretty much. And it made me happy. It's still making me happy. It makes everything worth it. It makes everything peaceful and happy. It makes life more brilliant. It makes connections more intimate. And it makes life beautiful. Every day. Even the hard days. And there are a lot of them. But they're not that hard. When I trust myself and love myself, listen to my friends and sometimes get readings, give myself readings, try to understand myself. I am the most interesting thing in my life, right? There's got to be something more interesting than me. But, for me, though, it's the only thing I've got to look through the world at, me. And that's how I know what I know, is only if I've experienced it. And that's how you can find out if you think we're all psychic. The last thing I want to do before I end this little short podcast saying thank you for listening for 6 years, or however, whenever you jumped on the train, or if you just popped in for this weird little happy 6-year episode, 6 years podcast. Yeah! Joy. I wanted to pull some cards to predict what's going to happen with the podcast. I brought the good old little bag I have in my purse. I'm just going to bring my Kitty Quest arrow, but I forgot it. But don't worry, we have cats. I'm sure Gandalf and Einstein are just dying for me to come back to the apartment, because I've been cleaning out my bedroom closet, and I think they think I'm moving. So I didn't know I could cram that much crap into a closet. I did pretty good. Okay, so these are the pagan cats. I know you've seen these before, right, guys? Everybody's seen the pagan cats. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. That's a good one. So, about to burn my nose hairs. And her hair caught on fire. There we go, Ace of Pentacles. So I was just showing them to you. I'm going to shuffle them up. Listeners and watchers. I'm going to ask, what do the listeners want to say to me about the podcast? What do you guys want to say? Listeners and watchers. Listeners, movie card number 1. I get the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, you saw me shuffle those. You saw me, you think Ace of Pentacles. It's a new, healthy beginning. And the people who are watching, they think they want to say, King of Swords reversed. Speak slowly and articulate properly is what that card says. I don't articulate very well. I just a little slur. So what would you like to see in the next seasons of We're All Psychic? I get the 10 of Pentacles reversed with the 8 of Wands. So this is to me saying you might want to learn how to move on from tradition and get really good with energy work fast. How to get that ingrained I am bad that our culture sticks in our hearts at a young age, seems like. And take that crap out of here. And 8 of Wands is like, it goes really fast with the 8 of Wands. So I feel like this is like the energy work too. The Wands are the energy, for me anyway, in the tarot. So it's like, hey, I want to grow my energy work, and I want to put the old ways behind me. Kind of what I think you want to hear more of in the seasons coming up. And maybe what else you want to hear. I got 2 more cards. More about the mysteries and my hair catching on fire. 8 of Swords. So you want to know how to, this is a good match here. It's a good podcast. How to get out of the mindset that you can't do psychic. You can't do psychic. You can't do psychic. Yes, you can. That cat can get out of that tree. Watchers, listeners, there's a cat in the tree and 8 of Swords. There's swords all around him underneath the tree, and the swords are all poking into the ground. So I don't think that cat's really got much to worry about. He just needs to jump. Right. And then the moon over here is a dog. So, there's something wrong there. Mysterious. You want to know how you can believe it and know it for yourself. That would be something we will continue to explore. Anything else? Third one, I'm going to pick. I'll let you pick. You can pick a card. You're going to pick this card, or you going to pick this card? I think you're going to pick this card. I don't know what card I picked. I picked this card. Ah, not such a rush. We're going to get to the root of worries. What are we going to do? We can get to the root of worrying about the Lover's reverse. This is a big deal, guys. Get to the root of why we worry about the Lovers. And the Lovers reversed is, the two halves of us that don't always want to get along. Our mind and our heart, maybe. They're torn. Or how do we find that love for other people and be able to love the true love, the real love, and stop worrying about finding it? Or how do we love ourselves that much so that we're so happy that we don't worry anymore? And just keep trying, keep going at it. If you're mourning or having any kind of sad times in your life or letting go of anything right now, I just want to say, if any of you are going through that right now, letting go of anything that has been unhealthy or letting go of anything that has been healthy and it's just gone for some reason. If anything's left your life, it never really leaves. There really isn't any time. Like, we've always thought it's a different kind of concept. I don't know what it is, but not say I know what it is. I don't know. But hope is the most important thing. Faith in yourself, I think, is the most important thing you can have. Every time I picture something positive coming out of my life, I start dreaming about those things happening, and then they start happening. If I just focus on it and think about it and hope for it and want it for the highest and greatest good. That's what I think works the best for me. Because I really do want the highest and greatest good. I don't know what it is. I just have ideas what I think it is. So, last listeners, at the end of this podcast, of course, I really want to thank Everclear and everybody on Everclear who's come onto this podcast. Thank you, advisors, for coming on here. That you guys made the podcast too, because when Everclear became the sponsor, they did say I could interview the advisors, and that's what kicked this whole thing off. So, Everclear advisors and Everclear, I love you guys so much, and thank you for doing that. And please come, any of you advisors see this and you haven't seen my thread on the forum for the podcast, please hit me up, and Lisa at we'reallpsychic.com, and I'd love to interview you. And anybody else too. Just don't come and yell at me. It's always recorded, so we don't do it live. Let's see. I do want to thank you guys. Everclear is our sponsor. Everclear.com is an advice app and website. You can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And as you know, I'm an advisor on Everclear under the name Lisa Russick. The first time I've been an advisor under my real name, Lisa Russick. Well, I was a Lisa Hazard under advisor at one time, but that's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. No. I love the Ting Ting song. I love that song. Anyway, listeners, watchers, this has been a great 6 years, August 6th to 2025. It is happening, hot stuff. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you for always being there. And any advice I have for you, I think I've already given it. And I will continue to give advice. You don't have to take it, though. I'll let you have it fast. Just like Mom. Thank you, guys. And I love you. Peace out.